All right, thank you, Sarah. Hey, maybe you're a grandparent looking for that perfect gift for your young one that'll keep on giving for quite a while. How about contributing to a 529 college savings plan? That idea. Stuart Welch from the Welch Group joins us this morning on Monday, Tuesday to talk about this. Now, we should point out, first of all, this is not the prepaid tuition program. This is something totally different. Talk about the 529 plan.
So the 529 plan is a great plan. So you put the money in, you don't get a tax deduction. It's in an account that you control. The money grows tax deferred, which is really important. And then when you take the money out and use it for qualified education expenses, that is tax-free. So it is literally the best way to save for a child's college education.
All right, now the state has 529 plan. At one time was not considered one of the best. They changed some of their investment options, and that has elevated their rating, has it not?
Yeah, they were one of the worst. And they came in and overhauled the plan. They brought Vanguard in, which is a low-cost mutual fund leader, and they're now one of the best. And one of the big kickers is if you're an Alabama resident putting money in an Alabama plan, you get an Alabama income tax deduction for up to $10,000, and that's if you file jointly. So that's worth about $500, and that's a big bonus.
Yeah, and that's important to point out too, because I know a lot of people may have their money in a different state plan that at one time was rated higher. For instance, the Utah plan was very popular. Now they may want to transfer some of that into the Alabama plan, but there's a caveat, right?
Yeah, the caveat is, I think you said you had initially put it in the Utah plan. If you transfer that money back into the Alabama plan, you get that income tax deduction, but there's a limit of $10,000. So if you had $20,000 in there, you wouldn't want to transfer $20,000 this year. You'd want to do $10,000 this year and $10,000 next year so that you maximize that Alabama income tax deduction.
Okay, so talk about the most of the maximum you can contribute to the state 529 plan.
Well, Mike, this is great news. You can put a ton of money in here. Your limit is everybody can contribute, can give anybody $14,000 a year. So if you join in gifts with a spouse, you can do $28,000. So you could front load this thing with $28,000, and under the 529 plan, you can do 5 years in advance. So that's about $140,000. So you could really front load it if somebody had a ton of money and wanted to do it.
Right. What about aunts and uncles? Could they also contribute?
They can do that. So and probably the last thing we'd point out is that people worry about, well, what if the child doesn't go to college? What happens to that money? Well, the parent or whoever owns the account, typically the parent controls that money, and if there's money left over that's not used for college, they can actually take that money out. There's a 10% federal penalty, but if you've had 10 years or 15 years of deferred growth in there, it'll overcome that.
All right, Stuart Welch, thank you so much. Sure beats paying off those student loans, I can tell you that. All right, 7